at least not yet. Now, 2016 Green Party presidential candidate Jill Stein joins me from Los Angeles. She was also the Green Party's 2012 nominee for president. Jill, thanks for being here.
Great to be with you.
So last night, 23 million people tuned in to the primetime Republican primary debate, and this country very much caters itself to a two-party system. So what sort of battle do you face as a Green Party candidate getting your voice heard?
I think as a third-party public interest candidate, the challenges that I face are much like the challenges of everyday Americans who are trying to find jobs that pay living wages, to get out of student debt, to maintain their homes, to keep their public schools open. We have a system that is, very extremely biased against us. We saw that last night in the horrific display of greed and shameless self-promotion that we call the Republican debates. We have a very vigorous campaign, which we are just beginning now, to open up the debates, because this is an essential feature of democracy. And I think the debacle that we saw last night, which really was more debacle than debate, really characterizes how this institution of debates has become incredibly corrupted, reflecting a deeper systemic corruption of our political system. Now, and by taking back our debates, we can begin to open up our democracy.
This isn't the first time that the Green Party has tried to take this on. The Commission on Presidential Debates, it's a private, nonpartisan organization that serves as a debate sponsor. They say to get on the stage, you must be a leading candidate, in their definition right now, garner 15% of the vote. Now, in 2012, you received less than half of 1% of the vote. Your Libertarian competitor, Gary Johnson, received about 1%. At this rate, you're never going to get on that stage. What do you want to change?
And that's exactly what they are striving for. There is a method to this madness. The Commission on Presidential Debates is actually none other than the Democratic and Republican parties. They took over the debates from the League of Women Voters in the late 1980s, and when they did so, the League of Women Voters actually quit in disgust, saying that this was a fraud being perpetrated on the American people because of the incredible control that the two parties exert over the debates. They not only control the candidates, they control who the questioner will be, therefore the kinds of questions. They control the audience. They actually control who shows up, which is very important, because last night we heard this cheering frenzy for ideas which are really far out in the spectrum of American public opinion, that are actually contrary to where most people stand in terms of jobs and wages and basic community values. We heard shameless greed and self-promotion last night, and you've got an audience that will cheer for that. This is not a public audience. This is an audience that got tickets through some special means. These were not publicly available tickets. And then you have a media that sort of goes along with the feeding frenzy here.
Well,
so,
but these
we need
debates,
to substantively...
These debates, they're primary debates for a party, in the same way that the Green Party could have a public debate with you guys debating each other. I mean, you're not asking to go on the Republican stage, right? You want to get on the main stage when we're closer to the election.
At this point, exactly. We're asking for an open debate in the general election. And the criteria for that should not be some artificial standard, because polling in turn reflects the money that you have to get yourself, to get your message out. Well, what does that mean? It means how many deep pockets, how many special interests are promoting you. So you get the kinds of outrageous ideas that we heard last night, shamelessly, pro-militaristic, pro-austerity, anti-working people, anti-union, anti-public employee. This is not where the American people sit. So we need to change the rules of the game here, and that's what we're calling for. Debates that actually allow candidates who are on the ballot for the majority of voters to be allowed into the debates. Voters have a right to know about the candidates who are on their ballot. They have a right to understand who their choices are, and they have a right to go beyond this incredibly controlled, malicious narrowing of the political spectrum to what is simply represented by Democratic and Republican parties. This is really
Jill, I know
a
that
pornography of politics.
I know that on your website you mention the growing majority of people, the American people, who don't identify with Republican and Democrat. So I know that's a point that you make on your website, and maybe a point for some more attention to third-party candidates. A Green Party candidate for the President of the United States, Jill Stein. Thank you.
Thank you so much.